Hello, everybody. Welcome to Women's Wellness Wednesday. I, Tyrika Bright, am your host this evening. We will be talking about motivation, inspiration, wellness as a whole. Today, we have my special guest, Tonia Maddox. I've known Tonia Maddox for a number of years, and I'm super excited to have her join our conversation this evening. Tonia?
Hi. How are you,
Hi.
Maddox?
Tonia, welcome to Women's Wellness Wednesday. We're super excited to have you.
I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Disclaimer, my son is here, but we have the producer coming in the back, and he's going to grab him in a little bit. So I apologize for the dogs and AKA the toddler I have. So, Tonia, let's get into it. Let's start out with talking a little bit about your history in the dental field. I think that's that's where your career started.
Yes,
Let's kind of dive into that.
Yes, that's where it started. It started when I was 19 years old. I had started out just being a regular surgical assistant at the age of 19. And then I had I had my son, my oldest son, and then I went back to school to become an EFTA, which means expanded function dental assistant. I did that for approximately 8 years or so. And then, in between meantime, I did that. I got married, had 2 children, all in the mix of that time of me being at EFTA. So there were so many different things going on in that time. But yes, that is what I did.
So how did you juggle all of it? Being a mom, married, like that's a lot. Beautiful nonetheless, but that was a lot. So how did you juggle it all?
Well, it was definitely very stressful, especially like going to school, because when I was in school for EFTA, I was pregnant with my daughter, and I had 3 children in the household under the age of 7. So I was doing like everything. In the beginning of the pregnancy, I was working I got to work at 7, got off at 5, got to school at 5:45, was done at 11:45. Wow. So I did that for the first 4 months. Okay. And then that part of the pregnancy became dangerous because it was just too much stress on me carrying a baby. So I finished out my externship pregnant, only I didn't do it regularly like everybody else. You know, you're supposed to do your externship for free. Not me. I got paid for doing my externship. So that was one of the things that I did that was different than everybody else that I went to school with. So I did that, but it wasn't easy. You know, it took a lot of prayer.
Okay.
It took a
lot. I was
lot
just going to ask, like, what did you do to, like, you know, you had to do all of those things, you know, it was hard, but you did it. So it kind of like,
well, I did it. I mean, it was kind of like, because I was already family oriented already, because I have 3 brothers, 3 younger brothers. So I was already like accustomed to working under pressure and going to school, working and doing all that kind of stuff, that it was pretty much like the same thing. You know, like what I went through from growing up. These were just my children.
Right.
So that's basically what I did to actually get through it all. Just a lot of prayer, a lot of going to church, you know, just having fun with my kids, you know, because they young. I was younger, couldn't do it now, but I was younger then, you know. So that's how I was able to. Then. Yeah, yes, because I don't have it. I don't.
So
I don't have
the reason why I say you had the energy then, some people, you know, a lot of people say they struggle as a young mom. and not only did you get married, not only were you working, not only were you being a mom, you did all of those things. Would you call that a struggle that you had to deal with, or would you call it just, obviously it was stepping up to the plate, doing what you needed to do, but was it a struggle for you to do those things?
Well, it was a struggle for me in different ways. Cause like when you're a young mom, it was more of a struggle for me when I had my first child, because your first child, you're learning, you're inexperienced, you're not aware of what's going on. So it's like trial and error with your first child. When you get a little bit older and you begin to have more children, it's a difference, because now you know what to do and what not to do. So it's a little easier. So
Okay.
I would say, yes, it was a difference between my first two sons. Yes, that it was definitely different and more difficult. It was different struggles, because with Marquise, I didn't have a lot of money,
I was going to say the
so
support probably looked
right.
different at that time.
That was different. And I was a single mom with my oldest son. And then with my other two children, I was married. So it was a different kind of experience. It was a different kind of ball game. So that was pretty much my struggle between my older son, and my younger children.
Okay. What, being a mom of three, okay, there's facts. Just read one of the comments. There's no handbook. You gain experience with every pregnancy. Yes, you do. Were each of your pregnancies easy? Was one harder than the next? You learned
Well,
something new.
with Marquise, I didn't gain any weight. The snapback was quick. Boy, the snapback was everything. With Malachi, it was, oh, I'm gaining weight. Then when I got to Jada, I got up to 345 pounds. So the struggle was
The
definitely, there
disclaimer
was
is
the
you're
struggle.
tall, but you're
That's the
tall. So
struggle.
let's just stay right
Yeah,
there.
that don't, that,
Like,
but
so the weight, 300 looks different on someone who's 5'11".
no,
To
it
be
don't
honest.
feel different. It don't feel different. It don't feel different, honey. It didn't feel different. But with each pregnancy, I gained more and more weight.
Okay.
I guess because I was comfortable, really, because I was married, so I guess
Yeah,
it didn't
I was gonna
matter
say
that I
that.
ate a box of tasty cakes. It didn't matter because
Right.
I was comfortable and married. So I guess that was the difference.
Right. Okay. Okay. Um, so your eldest, how old is your eldest son?
Marquise is 19. He will be 20 in June.
You
And
look
then
good.
yeah, yes. And then I have Malachi is 15. He'll be 16 in next month. He'll be 16. And then my daughter will be 14 in July.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
getting
So
old.
you got big kids.
Yeah.
You make it look good. One of our guests, Tiffany Ann, said that her first was easy. She agreed with you with the snapback, but the other two took a little longer.
Yes, it do. Because you get older and them fat cells just stick
They
to
settle
you.
in different.
Yeah, they hit
do you
different. They
different.
do. They do. And if you don't take care of yourself, I think that was another thing too, because I was eating large pizzas in 20 wings a day.
Get into it.
Yes, that's what
As
I was
was I.
doing.
And
So
I
I was
wasn't pregnant. So
yeah, we was eating that together.
there was a lot. And it's true. Like there's some people who say it's a myth, and some people say it's,
Yes, by
yes,
myself.
by myself. Yeah. So we were in college. We were roommates. Whole twist is she would order from Campus Corner. Shout out to Campus Corner.
Yeah,
Then
shout out to Campus
I
Corner.
would order from order together. We're roommates. She get a cheesesteak, I get a cheesesteak. Why
Yes.
I would down the whole cheesesteak, the world may never know. But
I took a nap, you took a nap.
Yep.
We were
tired from
I was the only one pregnant, but you had the symptoms.
all the symptoms. And
That's
like I said, they say people who you're closest to, who you're around, your husband, your partner, they gain those symptoms. And I definitely gained the symptoms.
Yes, you did. And it was so much fun.
It was fun. Pregnancy with people surrounding you with love is great. It makes it easy. My first pregnancy was wonderful. I looked great. I felt great. And I had people around me that loved me. So that really does help too when you're going through such a traumatic change in the body, the hormones, all of those things. So
yes. Well, I remember being emotional. I was more emotional with the last two children than I was with my first one. And I don't know if I don't know why that was. See, that's the thing that they don't even tell you. It's like the doctors don't even tell you why you experience certain things in different stages in your life with different pregnancies. Like I was 18 when I had my first child, and then I was 22 when I had my second child. So it's like there was a whole different, and emotionally things were different for me. Physically, mentally, emotionally, things were different, and they definitely don't explain that to you. So it's kind of like we got to depend on each other to find out certain information to figure out, are you feeling this? Because I'm feeling this too.
Right. Wow.
Right.
I never ate like that. My cravings were crazy. Peach yogurt, sour cream. Oh yeah, you have funny cravings.
Yeah,
You
I
had, yeah.
didn't eat that. We ate fatty
No,
foods,
eat
cheese
fatty
sticks, French
foods.
fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
We did stuff to make
I
us
was
be
looking forward to, though, Tiffany Ann. I was looking forward to having those weird cravings. Like once I became pregnant, like I wanted to be like, oh, I want pickles and
and
yogurt.
peanut
But
butter.
yeah, like I never had shit like that. Like I was
No.
greedy, but
Yeah.
I didn't have weird cravings, if you will.
Yeah, no, I didn't have it. I didn't have weird cravings
Yeah.
either. Just I love them tasty cake candy cakes. Those were my
Child, that
friends.
glucose test it definitely slowed my ass down because when they scare you, they tell you, and
Oh
then you
yeah.
eating, and then they're like, oh wait, you're a little too, and I'm like, well, you told me to eat, be happy.
Yes, but no, they don't want you to eat too much. They don't want you to eat too much. You're not
But they
supposed
don't
to.
tell you that. They
You
tell you to
know,
eat
they
for
tell you
two.
after you gain all the weight. Baby
Yeah.
powder.
The cravings. It's
Cigarette.
true.
No, I have never heard Jesus fix it.
No, and I've heard
Cigarette
the match
ash.
and the match tips, like the sulfate to the match tips. I heard people eat those too. Pregnant people cravings.
I don't think that's healthy though.
No, it's definitely not healthy. It's one of
Okay.
those things. It's definitely not a good idea to do, but true story. Yeah, Shannon, definitely true story.
No,
Spicy foods.
I didn't eat any spicy foods at all. I don't eat spicy things.
Mm-hmm.
They burn my stomach and make my nose run. I'm all right. No, I didn't. I didn't do
Nothing
none of that.
spicy.
Wasn't
Yeah.
interested in any of that at all. At all. No, wasn't interested in none of that at all. Would you do it again? Okay, so do you feel like you're okay with just staying, or did you want like more?
So I'm okay with just staying. Couple reasons. My age, like I'm doing it. I'm 39, be 40 in a few months. So
Yeah.
I have a toddler. I don't have energy for more of that. So that's a reason. Also, just with what I have going on in my life right now, I don't have the time, and I don't want that to sound selfish.
No.
But I don't really have the time. Um, I wouldn't write it off, as some people know, and you may not know, not you, Tony, I know you know. Some people may not know. I recently had a hysterectomy, but I want to say that doesn't mean that having children is off the table for me. Why? How? That means I still have my ovaries. My eggs are intact. I don't need any hormonal follow up. So if I wanted to have children, it would be IVF. It will cost me a great deal.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
yeah,
You just taught me something today. I definitely didn't know that. I definitely know
tips.
this. I know that if I had to do what I did in my 20s, in my 30s, I wouldn't make it.
Mm,
Okay? I wouldn't make it. I have two little nephews right now. Rocky would be 6 months, and Boo Boo Bear be 4 months, right? So listen, that waking up in the middle of the night, not ready. Not ready at all. Okay. I did that long time ago. I
right,
couldn't do that now. So I understand what you're saying. You don't have the energy and the
right,
time. But the only difference from me being in my 20s and my 30s, I to be more established in
okay,
having children. So at a later age, you're more established, and the knowledge is different. Like my knowledge with the education that I had with my oldest is very
right.
different from my youngest. So they experienced two different moms. Like
Right.
they don't have the same experience as me being a mom because I was younger and then I
Right.
got a little bit older. And so it was definitely a difference.
And then you had their father, your husband, to help, with all the children, but you still, it was just different. Your experience was different. You weren't a
Right.
single mom anymore. You
Right. It was
were,
definitely
a
different.
wife. So, yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely a different thing. Seriously. So I want to kind of fast forward because after I had my children and all of those things, I gained weight. And
Okay.
so I was 345 pounds. So what I decided to do was go get something called the gastric bypass because I couldn't lose the weight myself. My knees were giving out on me. I can remember taking my daughter up the steps and my knees collapsing with my daughter in my hand. And
Right.
so we had a conversation and you was just like, I don't know who, this not my friend. I don't know who you are anymore. And so that clicked the light bulb on. And so I decided to do that, only not knowing that there were going to be a lot of complications that came with that surgery that they do not express to you or say to you at all. Like they don't tell you that you can have ulcers. They don't
So
tell you none of that. Was you about to ask me something?
I was gonna say, put the comment back up. It was someone who had an ailment similar to that. It's funny how after giving birth you go through so many health problems. I had to get a hernia repair surgery after giving birth. Yes, giving birth is not something that people should take lightly.
No, it's
Anyone should
not.
take lightly.
No,
You
it's
know,
not.
everybody's body is different. During my labor, I had an emergency C-section. It was not planned. I was considered a very healthy young lady at the time, still am. But I say that to say my body wouldn't push past 8.5 centimeters. So because I was laboring so long, they decided to do the emergency C-section. So I didn't plan to have my muscles cut open, emergency. And it was during COVID on top of that. So
Oh
there were so
wow.
many different scares. I couldn't go right back to the OR because they needed to clean the room thoroughly. It was cleaned, but they had to do an additional clean because we were in the thick of things of COVID 2020. So I
Right.
had to wait longer. So yeah, the body definitely treat it well and be kind to your body because it definitely goes through some things that you're not prepared for. Tonia, please continue about the things that they don't prepare you for, like the ulcer or the
No,
aftermath.
they didn't tell me about. See, what happened to me was I kept getting like this headache. Oh, I had a
I
headache. I had a
remember.
headache. I had a headache. And I kept taking Excedrin. And one day I had a headache. I took Excedrin again, only this time it was very different. The room began to swim. Like I got dizzy. And I
Right.
felt like I had to go to the bathroom. So I made my way to the bathroom and nothing but blood came out of me. I passed out. They had to rush me to the emergency room. I had two ulcers and a bleeding blood vessel. So for a couple, I think it was like 6 weeks, I was bleeding on the inside and had no clue at all. Back
Like,
then I was eating salads and stuff. So when my stool kept getting darker, I was just thinking it was from the salads, not knowing
right.
that when your stool gets dark, you're bleeding. Like they
Yeah.
don't tell you none of that stuff. Like, so thank God that I got to the emergency room in enough time and they did the 2 emergency surgeries on me to get that. In addition to that, after that though, it didn't stop there. After that, because they took a certain part of my stomach out, my body doesn't remake the blood. So when I bleed, my body doesn't replenish it. So my feet kept swelling and I didn't know why. And it didn't happen for like maybe 6 to 7 years after that last episode. I just kept like my iron kept being low and they couldn't tell me why. And so I kept doing the same thing. I kept bleeding on the inside and didn't know. Finally, they told me they took too much out of my stomach and that was the problem. So something that happened to me 13 years ago is now affecting me today.
Is that like malpractice of some sort? Did you go to the, like, just, you don't have to say too much on live air, but
Oh,
like that
yeah,
sounds
it is, but it's like now that was 13 years ago.
right.
And it's kind of because it took so long to happen. It's kind of like now it's like, okay, it could be anything. You let them
Yeah.
tell it, it could
Other
be
right.
anything.
Right.
So because it didn't happen then when I first got it done. So because it's
I.e.
all of
side
these years
effects.
later,
Yeah.
huh?
I said, for example, side effects. Side effects
Right.
don't happen in 6 weeks. They happen 2 years from now. They happen 3 years from now. Um. So yeah, thank you
It's
for
just
sharing that. That
well, yeah, it's just
transparency.
crazy. I feel like, now if I would have had to do it all over again, I would have just tried to really like lose weight the regular way. It's nothing wrong with getting surgery at all. I'm not going to say that because, at the end of the day, it helped me at that time because I couldn't get rid of the weight myself. But I kind of feel like I took the easy way out back then. I did. I feel like that was the easy way out and I took it. I didn't want to put in the work. So if I would encourage anybody, anything, it would be to put in the work to do it. Don't just, do it if it's medically necessary, but don't do it if you can put in the work because it's
that was
not
my other
really
question. Yeah.
right. It's not worth the risk later
Right.
on because what if I didn't catch it? What if I didn't know the signs? Then
Right.
I could have bled out in my sleep
Okay.
internally and wouldn't have known.
And thank God that didn't occur.
Right.
So.
Because then I wouldn't be here
Right.
today with
You always got to go with
you.
your gut. Shannon, I saw both my daughters being born and it was traumatic both times. Salute to you ladies. I just don't know how y'all do it. It's truly a miracle and I respect you ladies immensely. Shannon, we
All
appreciate
men
it.
should. All
Yeah.
men should.
All men.
Y'all should like worship. Like, I'm just saying, y'all really should like show more appreciation because we really do go through a lot. And not only do we
Yeah.
go through a lot during pregnancy, we go through a lot after pregnancy. We go through, are we going to be good
Postpartum.
moms?
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing the right thing? Am I going to hurt my baby? Then you like super scared, super cautious, overly cautious, So it's like all of that stuff. And we need like the support. Like we need our time. We do need that. And they
Right.
have to men need to recognize that too. Like, okay, we let her have her time because she's always doing.
And we
One
need to
thing that
replenish ourselves. Go
right,
ahead.
and we need that time.
Yes.
Oh,
I
Black
respectfully
girl
value
magic
all Black
is
women.
real.
It
Yes,
sure is
Black girl
real.
magic is real. It
It sure.
definitely is real. Um, so yeah, that I hope that if anybody can learn anything, and men especially, that they need to learn to give us time to ourselves,
Okay.
and
That's a
and
tip.
to know that we share a different burdens from men. Like we have different outlooks, and as far as being parents go, because the same outlook that you have, your husband don't have.
Right.
It's
So
just not like that. Y'all look
so
at things
different
totally different.
perspectives. So,
Yes.
there may be a couple who is questioning the fact should their kid play football. Football comes with a lot. Football comes with structure. Football comes with unity, teamwork, a sense of belonging. However, some could look at football with, you know, concussions,
Yep, because that's
long
exactly
term,
where I go.
long
Yep.
term issues, breaking bones, just from playing a sport, something leisurely, something recreational. You now have broken a bone. So you may have a household that is divided in that way. But if you communicate and come together, you can figure out what's best for the child, and also listen to the mother and listen to the father in its own right. So yeah,
That's very true.
just an example of how something can be different in the home. You want the best for the child, but if it's not, you know, the best in the healthiest way, then let's discuss this. So,
But what about the
oh, of course, the
uh
full time dads.
yes, the full
I know a
listen,
few.
shout out to the full-time dads because my brothers, I am going to brag about them. They are full-time dads and they do a lot, and I commend them, and I take a little credit for them, being good dads. Yes, dads do need it, and the women need to appreciate them and being there and present. Like they really need to appreciate a man being there and present because there's so many men out here who do not take care of their children.
Right.
So the men that do, they should be saluted too, because
Absolutely.
that's a rare breed these days. It's
Say it
very
again.
rare. It's
That's
a
a rare
rare
breed,
breed these days,
and
and
it
it's
shouldn't be.
crazy. It
It
shouldn't
shouldn't
be,
be. It shouldn't
but
be.
for several generations, the mother has always been the strong one in the household. That's why there are so many alpha females. I am one of
Get
them.
to it.
I
Men
listen,
should
they
wear the
should,
baby
they
wrap, and then they
should.
should put the baby in it, walk
My
around
brother
all day
do.
with the baby in
My
it,
brother
the
do. He got
carrier.
that strap thing.
Yep.
He got the strap thing too. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
They walk
That's
around
real.
with the baby on the front. Yeah, they do.
We
We
exist.
exist. Yes,
Salute.
yeah,
I
I
know.
know. Salute you, brother. I know,
Yes.
I
We
know.
saw
I
that.
have 3 of them that do it. I
It's
have
so
3
decent.
brothers that are good fathers to their kids. I really, really do. And they should. Yeah, I sure do.
That's
um,
sweet. Hey, Sammy.
but yeah, I think they should. I think, you know what, as a community and as a whole, we both should appreciate each other, because it takes 2 parents in a household to raise kids.
Right.
It actually takes a village to raise children, not just a mom and a dad. It takes an aunt, an uncle, sisters, cousins, brothers. You know, it takes us all to
Okay. Thanks, guys, for showing up. I appreciate you, ladies. So, I wanted to touch on, you said your oldest is 19, about to be 20.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Raising him to be a strong young man despite the world on the outside. What does that look like when he comes from the outside back into the inside? How do you have to cover him? I know you pray over him,
Yes. Yes,
but
I
just dealing
definitely
with that,
do.
with these young men and the things that they're going through and the violence that's in the streets, how do you?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Before, I used to really struggle with that, because he would be what the outside world wanted him to be. He was the statistic. He was. It's just, that's a young mom raising her son the best way she knew how, right? So he
Mm,
was like that. So for a while, it was a lot of tears, a lot of fears, a lot of crying. So now he's 19 now. So the world done smacked them in the face. And so because the world done smacked him in the face, now he realizes that mommy know what she's talking about. And so I'm gonna listen to her. So the transition between the two is not so much anymore. It's not so much I have to play tug of war with him in the world. No, because now when he comes home, first of all, this is his sanctuary. But when he
mm,
comes home, that outside world doesn't exist. It doesn't. So like his mind frame is totally different from what it was 2 years ago.
okay.
Thank God. But that's really what it is. It's very difficult in raising sons in this day and age, because there's so much killing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much no fear of anything.
Right.
So much crime. It's lack of respect everywhere. Like there's these children, this generation don't respect each other. They don't respect adults. They don't
Nope.
respect authority. It's a lot of things that they just don't respect. But you know what, a lot of that comes with the wellness and mentally though, right?
Speak on it. Speak on it.
Because there's so many young single moms raising these children. They're working, they're not in the home because they have to work, because they are single parents. So these kids are raising themselves, right? So who are we to blame at this point, right? It's we blame the parent. Why do we blame the parent? Because they should be home with their kids, but then they're single moms, so they have to work. So what do you
To
do?
make it make sense. Right.
Right. Yeah, I pray over my sons and stuff
Yes.
too. My son and my daughter, my children every day as
Yes.
well. So
Yes.
it's just like it's really like you you gotta pray over
I,
these kids, and you gotta really be serious about praying and keeping them safe and keeping them covered, because if not, they will be lost in these streets. And it's very difficult. They need to have like more organizations for men, period. Black, white, Latino, all of them, because a lot of these parents are single parent family homes. Like they're single parents in the homes. It's just, this is real life. This is the reality. They started what, like 6 generations ago, taking the man out of the house
and making it and
and
giving excuses
normalizing
behind
it.
it. Right. I was gonna say,
Right.
and making it okay behind it. Like it's
Right.
never okay. Shannon, can you put back up that last comment, please, so we can address it? Do you think having both parents in the household makes a difference? I do. I think it makes a difference. I didn't grow up in a 2-parent home. My dad wasn't too far from where we lived, so I had easy access to my father. But I definitely think that a two-parent home, um, I think it's ideal, but that's just my opinion. It was important for me when I did have a child to be in a committed, sturdy, strong relationship because I wanted what I didn't have, which was a two-parent home. Um, so I think it equals things. It equals some things out. I can't teach my son how to be a man.
Right.
His father can. He has a father and a dad, so he has both. Um, so yeah, I think there's importance to having a two-parent home. Tonia?
Well, I think that it is important to have a two-parent home. However,
There's always that.
having a mother and a father in a household together, right? But if it's a toxic relationship, how healthy is that for that child? To see fighting, to see abuse,
Disconnection. Mm-hmm.
to
Right.
see no love,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
lack of communication. So,
Mm-hmm.
really, is it okay to have a two-parent home like that? Or is it
Absolutely not.
okay for a single parent home where it's a healthy relationship, where you teach the child how to communicate, where it's healthy mentally for the child? Which one is different? There are pros and cons to everything.
Absolutely.
It's pros and cons to it. Is it ideal? Like you said, yes. Every,
Right.
I think every person wants that idea
Right.
thing, but the reality is it's been so many generations without it. It's just like it's normal. Oh yeah, it's just my mom or it's just my dad.
Right.
It's like the normal thing now. You have
Oh yeah,
children
no,
with
it's
people.
definitely, yeah. It works. I come from a single mother, the product of her and her alone. So definitely shout out to my mom.
Wait,
You know,
wait. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Greek, but the
no, yeah, go
comment
back. Go
before,
back.
what did it say? What about the mother who disrespected you? Even though you help take care of them together up and support. Oh, so she tried it. Okay, so
I
you
mean,
got
get
those.
into it. You read it.
So you have those. Okay. you know, See, that's a bitter girl because she's not a woman. Because a woman, despite your relationship with them, they will still allow you to be very present and respect you as the kid's father and allow you to take care of your kid and not separate you from your child.
Right.
See, when you're dealing with girls, that's the kind of stuff that you deal with. So for the man that has to deal with that, then I say take her to court because guess what? She would take you.
And
Just
that's
saying.
a safe way.
Yes. It definitely did make a difference. I just understand. Well, yes, girl, submitting to the right man, but where is the right man?
I mean, they're around.
Girl,
Like, let's
don't be
not. I mean, the pickings are slim,
Yeah,
but
they
they're
are.
around.
Slim
We
pickings.
exist.
I know
And
y'all
that
do.
was
I know
salute.
y'all
That was
do.
two. That was two this evening. My man is around. Okay, he is around.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I do. I know it's men out there. Just like it's good women out there, there's good men out there too. But
Absolutely.
see, you know what? Again, it goes back to the households always having a woman in the households for the last 5 generations. That is very hard for a woman to submit to a man because she carried everything on her back. So she doesn't even know how to allow the man to come in and take on the weight of the world off her.
I was going to say
Hey
that
sis.
you have to
Um,
be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to that man. You then have to trust that man all over again. You then have to, do everything that you did 50, 11 times back before to get to where, you can come to a place and let that man, be a man to you and say, you don't have to worry about everything. Does that make sense?
yes,
Like, you
it
can't
does
just,
make sense. But see, this is the thing, right? For me, and I'm going to speak for me because I feel like in majority of my relationships, again, I held down the fort all the time, right? So, wait, not what to do for the child because the mother doesn't want him. Well, girl, they all around because I had one of them
that was my
too.
girl
You ain't
Mimi.
with the man. You know, Tarika, you ain't
Yes,
with
we
the
laugh about it
man.
all the time. We
He
laugh
don't
about
want
it
to
all
be a
the
part
time.
of the what's why which is why some men can't keep a man. Well, guess what? It's sometimes a woman can't keep a man, it's not because it's so much of her. It's because at some point in time, some of these men dish out certain things. And once you get to a point in your life where you're accepting you for you and you know your worth, it's just like, I'm not going to accept anything. Majority of these men is acting like, oh, we supposed to just accept, oh, because you know how to pay some bills. Oh, I got to love you and submit to you, sir. It's more than
Absolutely
just
not.
paying bills. It's my mental. It's you looking at me and knowing something wrong with me without me even saying anything to you. It's you completely seeing me like I'm standing here naked, but you see me, all of me, and me doing the same thing for you. We don't even got to talk. We can look at each other and have a whole conversation, but those type of connections are not out there like they
It's
were.
rare. No, it is
Yeah.
rare. You
Yeah.
can be with a person and love a person and still not have what you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
and that's not settling in a relationship. That's not, again, settling in a relationship. It's just those type of situations are rare. So
Right.
is it okay to be by yourself? Yeah, if it's going to be
Yes.
the best for you in the situation. So yeah, the single parent home is, it's okay. I mean, it's more than okay.
All right,
But
I
yeah.
ain't promoting it like single family. I ain't promoting it like that. But
No, I
I
know what
get
you
it.
mean.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be by myself than to teach my daughter to be with a man who don't respect you and who don't love you and who don't know your worth. Respectfully. Wait, let me repeat. A lot of communication. Oh, yes, communication is the key. And let me tell you something. I'm 38 years old, right? And I think I'm just really knowing and learning how to communicate effectively.
Look at that.
And I have been married, okay? And in long relationships.
Right.
But I have just like realized, okay, when a man is speaking, allow that man to speak. Give him his room to make him feel like he a man. And I can't be the man in the relationship and want him to be the man. I had to learn it. But again, me being so strong for so long, it's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to put down that hat. Yeah, it is okay not to
Yep.
settle. It's better to one for yourself. Yes, the
Absolutely.
standards.
Yep,
But see,
exactly.
then these women that's not healthy in here, accepting the side chick roles and all that.
So wait. So the whole thing about that is, I guess when I was younger, I was cool with, like, you know,
Being a
being
side
somebody.
chick.
Yeah, like, because I wasn't in a committed relationship. I had my own little car. I had my own little place. Like, I was living. And okay, that's your baby mom. That's who you're with. But like me, I knew my role, and one could judge it. One could be like, that wasn't wrong. I mean, that was wrong. You shouldn't have did that to the other woman. Again, I was young, but I was okay with what I was doing. So I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, the hookup. Cause well,
Oh.
the social media in the world normalizes screwing everybody.
And it's not okay. There's a piece about preserving. So I'm, like I said, 39. Preserve your temple. Like, you need it for when you get older.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be
Yeah, you
that
don't want it all
casually
beat
hooked
up.
up person.
You don't want
Right.
it all beat up. You get
Nope.
older, it don't tighten back up. You gotta preserve it. Wait. Prove your flaws. Yeah, sometimes you can't see what you did wrong until sometimes you out of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I learned is that sometimes you gotta uh pray your way through things and ask God to reveal certain things about you, and ask God to put people in your life that can show you the bad things about you, because it's a lot of times I do things and say things and not know that it's coming off rude, right, Reek? I do it all the time, right?
And you mean well, and
Yeah,
and
but
one may take it
I do it.
right.
I do it. I don't mean to be that way, but sometimes you don't know that you're doing something unless somebody brings it to your attention. And I really think that people need to be okay with taking criticism, and
It's a
then
hard thing. That's a hard thing, Tonia.
yeah,
Because when you accept that, and I only cut you off because I struggle with it maybe,
no
but
bit.
when you take, just a little bit, because I work so hard, and when you put your all into something, and somebody, they're not attacking it, but when they give you that hard, crisp
Yeah.
response, you sometimes, is how do you take that? You know, do you take
Right.
it, oh, that person's hating, or oh, that person's, you know, they don't understand. No, sis, they want the best for you. You may have asked and they gave it to you. And it may not be what you thought it was gonna be, but it's okay. So we have to
Right.
be able to receive that, not taking it personal, and like you said, constructive criticism. So yes.
Is it? Well, that's
But you,
definitely hard for anybody.
in my defense, even when I get like that, you be right on it. So even if I say, yeah, she don't like me, you be like, I don't like it either. So like, it's not
Listen,
like,
listen,
what do you
though.
mean?
Hold on. I peep shade real good. I'm a shade people. Now,
No, that was just
I
for fun.
peep the haters, and then I
That was
peep
just for
people
fun.
that really care.
No, that was just for fun. No, yeah.
I
No,
can
yeah.
tell the difference, though. You know, people that's throwing shade, and I peep them people first. I see them from a mile away, honey. I definitely do. But back to like the whole mental thing. It's kind of like there's no. I mean, there was books out there to kind of tell us how we supposed to think and feel and all of that kind of stuff, but it doesn't pertain to like the reality of life, everyday life, family, kids, work, relationships.
Struggles.
Yeah, the struggle, because there's all different types of struggles, financial struggles, like emotional struggles.
Heartache.
Yes,
Heartache. Breakup.
happens all the time. It's so many
Hey,
different
now,
things. So how do you like woo side? Because I just woo side the other day when I went with Twin and got my feet done. We had the woo side. We ate some shrimp and stuff. That's how I woo side. How you woo side?
So I woo-saw in many ways. I woo-saw best with, when there's no one around. When I kind of like isolate. So when I isolate and I'm to myself, I journal. So I'll light a candle, a concrete rose candle, nonetheless.
Okay.
And I'll journal. So that's how I woo-saw. I'll write down my aspirations.
Oh,
Shout out the concrete rose candle.
I fed in there like that. That was deep. That was cute. That was cute.
So I
And,
journal. I put we got to get into your video. You definitely did a tribute, and in song form, y'all. Concrete Rose became a year in January 2023, and this young lady sang her tribute to Concrete Rose, and I was so grateful for it. But I will start with journaling. I write down my aspirations, I write down my dreams, and then I pray. I ask to be covered. So my woosah is just a really personal time, and it can happen anywhere while I'm at work, in the bathroom. I need to take healthy breaks often, kind of like coping skills
right.
when I'm stressed out, because I'll get triggered during the day. The baby, he's screaming now. Not only is he talking, but he's screaming. So there'll be a time that I need to woosah. I'll go somewhere, my pen and paper, and start to write. So that's how I woosah.
So for the new parents, because you're fairly new, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for the new parents, how would one suggest for the moments where you feel like you finna have a breakdown? And this for men and women, right? Because we all are parents, right? So we have the mental breakdowns where you feel like you finna just lose it. Well, listen, I'm a mom and I still be feeling like that. And I'm like 19 years in, 20 years.
Say, you 19 years in, you ain't used to it yet, sis? I don't
No,
really.
no, because it's levels to this. Levels. It's like levels to it. It's like, all right, this one cool, but now here come this one with it. Like, come on.
What do you mean you need help with homework? I thought that was yesterday. Like,
forget the homework, the attitude. The attitude of a teenager. I got my nose done.
Yes, Linda.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody need to buy candles and take bubble baths, lavender wash, and get a lavender candle to go
Girl,
with the
lavender pieces in the candle. Sets the mood.
That's right.
Sets the mood.
I did it on point. I did it on cue, just like him. I said Concrete Rose at the same time. We on point. Yes. Yes.
Y'all so silly. So when you said what do I do? You said when it's just really too much, I'll remove myself. I'll yell for Tim. I'll remove myself.
What about not nobody?
You're right. I haven't experienced that. Well, I still breastfeed, so I shut him up. I mean, I'm trying to really think of a certain situation where I'm just like, all right, I'm losing my shit. He's got to stop. I'm trying to cook. I'll stop what I'm doing because I'm still a new mom. I'm helicoptering him with everything like, So if I have to stop making the spaghetti, low key losing my shit, I'm gonna nurse him real fast and say, go ahead. So is that the healthiest? Probably not. But yeah,
Girl.
I don't really, Tonia, I have a lot of free time now that my work schedule looks a lot different. So my self-care is kind of what I make it. I'm kind of living the dream, if you will. I'm off Monday through Friday to make investments, to make business deals, to answer emails, to show up for myself, to vend, to produce candles. On the weekends, I work for the man.
Right.
They provide my insurance, and I get some chicken scratch from them, and I replenish my business with what I have going on. So there's a lot of me time through that, and through 4 or 5 days. There's a lot of me time during that. So I get it. I get it in.
You know what? That's why I said I think that people stick into the village of it all, because then people mental will be a lot better. Like, because my kids are older, I'm cool with being TT. I'm cool with, let me go get my baby. I'm cool. I'm stage, so let me take the weight off you, because I understand the stressors of it all. Your mental ain't right because you ain't sleeping a long time. You don't know what 4 hours of sleep is anymore. So I think that's something that, I just feel bad for the people who don't have a village.
So when I first had my son, it was during COVID. I didn't have anybody surrounding me with no support. Like nobody came to the hospital, they weren't allowed. Nobody could come to the house, they weren't allowed. So that was a dark time for me. Postpartum wasn't horrible for me, but do I think it crept in a little bit? Because
what is that? What is that like? I don't know what this. I don't think
postpartum, it can look different for a lot of people. For me, in the first initial stages, maybe the first 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, what I felt like Tim was going to leave me. I felt every time he went to the store, he wasn't coming back. So it was a sense of anxiety and paranoia for me. And I mean, just as simply as going to the store to buy me the Fiji water because Poland Spring I didn't want. So that Poland Spring was downstairs. So all I had to do was go to the local store. But I really felt like, oh my God, he's leaving. Is he going to come back? And it plays on your mind. So postpartum can look different for everybody. It only lasted a couple weeks, but severe cases, people may want to hurt themselves. They may want to hurt their child. They may want to, they may not even want to, they're detached from their child. They may want the child to be away from them for whatever reason. And then it gets better. It gets better with medication. It gets better with prayer. I did not need medication. I did not want to hurt myself. I didn't want to hurt my baby, but I had this sense of anxiety and paranoia that like Tim wasn't going to come back. So it looks different for different people.
Okay, because I was trying to think back. I really don't think I even had the time to really think about myself back then, or to think about my own feelings and stuff, because I was always on the go, 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 go. Being pregnant, going to school, working, taking care of the kids, dealing with the husband. I didn't have time to really ask for help. It is very important. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Lynette, for that. You definitely need a village.
Yeah, you do. You really do. And utilize the village that you have, if you're a little nervous, just keep an eye on them, but allow people to help you. Wait.
You do feel insecure because you're first time parent and having someone genuinely cares about you. It helps you a lot. And to not have that, I guess I had it, but I didn't have it tangibly. I didn't have it in my hands where somebody can come over and take the baby from me, or even cuddle up with me and take a nap as a new mom, because I'm a touchy-feely person. So I wanted that type of connection from people, but I couldn't get it. So
Yeah.
I think that played on my brain a lot too. What'd you
Okay.
say?
I said because of COVID, but see, that was a dark time, I think, for everybody. I think that COVID was postpartum. It's like it
The whole time.
was, but it was a depression, but no human contact. Like people need, I need the
That
hug.
was tough.
I need to touch your face. You know, I
That was
need to
tough.
see.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
all face.
Now I worked in a residential at the time, so right when I was able to go back to work, I needed to go back to work. So I was one of those essential workers who was in the thick of things, wearing the mask, all that stuff. So it was disheartening because there's nobody on the road. There's nobody that you communicate with. You have to show up for work. You have to, risk, your safety for someone else's safety because they go home and then they come back here. So it was a dark time for a lot of people.
Yeah,
It was.
and so many people. Yeah, it did
Called seasonal depression. Yes, yes, it did. It did, Linda.
for
It did.
everybody. It definitely did. I'm glad it's kind of like getting over. I don't need nothing else to come. I don't need no monkey
No,
nothing.
it was exhausting. It was exhausting.
Anything else coming up. I just want this COVID to go away. I don't want no new strands coming.
Oh, it's definitely a new strand. They're gonna have a new strand every year.
That's enough. It's all in the
Yes,
same thing. It's
nothing
all
else,
COVID.
please.
Stop
Yes,
trying
I agree. Big
to
exclusive.
stuff.
We've had enough.
Yeah.
Flag, wave it, surrender. We're done.
I definitely. This is super cool. I can't believe it's 6:52 already. That
Yeah,
is
we were getting into it. Oh, Tonia, what do you do for self-care?
self-care. So let me just tell you what I started doing this year because I didn't never do this before. But I used to write songs and stuff all the time, right? But this year I started writing down my dreams and goals, and just manifest. I got a manifestation book. Everything that I want,
Nice.
I put in there. The goals that I have 3 blocks underneath the goals, and each step on what I need to take to get to the goal. So that is
Okay.
something. Now I'm starting to do monthly things with my cousin, and we all gonna get days where we spend quality time together, just like spending time together outside of children, just being women, mothers together, going to get our nails done, going to eat some
Okay.
good food, having a martini or something. Do I want to go to the studio and lay down some songs? Danny, I've been telling you I've been ready. I told you that I got the songs in my purple book. Um, so yeah, that's basically, what I do now. Which actually my mind has been so much clearer because now I'm to the point to where it's about me. I have to focus on me. I can't focus on everybody else. I got to focus on me because that's going to make me a better me. Me loving me more, writing about what I want, not what my kids want or my mom want or my sister want. Like none of that. It's what I want. What's going to work for me? What do I need to do to change my life, my state of being right now, and my mental? What's going to help me? So for now, that's been helping me. I feel a lot different. I feel a lot more motivated just by writing down the things that I want. And Leah told me to been do this, right? But I didn't. Now I do it. I
Shout out to
listen.
Leah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leah.
She
Your friends
she
will
brought
pour
me the
into
book,
you.
and I
Mhm.
did, and now I'm doing it. And it
Good.
feels so much better. It do.
Listen to those sisters who pour into you. You may have to switch up your sisters. You may, people are in your
Yeah.
life for a season. Some are in your life, are roots and stems in your life. And, when people pour into you, allow them to. Also, I know you know better, but some people need to beware as well. Everyone doesn't have your best interest at heart. So you also just need to be aware and
That's
allow the goodness to occur and be intentional. I like that you said you're writing the stuff down. You have like a blueprint, if you will, of what the building blocks will look like for your goals. I think that's wonderful. It's something that you can see, so it's a visual aid. It's something that you're writing. So all the shout outs, I love it. So yeah, I think that is awesome.
yes.
Mental
So all
fitness,
right, see,
mental
like
fitness, yes.
they coming to town. The ones that was just Sherna and Barbara, they coming to town, and we gonna do something with the Super Bowl or something, or we just getting together. We getting
Awesome.
together and have a good time. Those are the times that's needed because life is so much going on that when you
Mhm.
have time to share with people that you love, do it, because you
Yeah.
never know what tomorrow may bring. Tomorrow, one of your
True.
closest friends might not wake up, so you got to enjoy every day as you can and spend, like I said, spend as much time with the people that you love, and tell them that you love them. That's very, very important. It's so important because uh you look up and the people, somebody that you didn't
It's
check
going.
on, call, is
It's
gone.
going.
Good stuff, ladies. I'm
Um,
always, yeah, she's so inspiring. She's so
thank you
inspiring.
so much. Thank you so much. I want to thank every female on this live, every female who tapped in. I think, there was a lot of gems that we all could take from this situation or from this conversation. It wasn't a situation, it was a conversation. And I
Yeah,
felt empowered by it, after talking with you ladies for an hour. The transparency was amazing. And I think journaling is a good practice. Yes, so many gems were dropped this evening. Positive affirmations, write your
yeah,
wants, needs, and things that you wish to change. Shout out to that. Shout out to
yep.
that. Hey, cuz.
I think that's a good one. That's not some, yeah, that's not something I have in my book. And so you know what? Thank you for that. Whoever wrote that, that's something I'm gonna put down because
Shannon, can
there
you
are,
pop that back up, please? Thank
I
you.
do want, yeah, I do have the positive affirmations, but the things that I do want to change about myself, yes, yes, yes. I want to be able to be vulnerable, because it's hard to be vulnerable people because you don't know,
And
So
you
I
be
think that,
playing all the time. You
yeah, yeah,
you you play a lot. You play a lot.
right. No, I don't
You
have
be
the
playing.
time for that. I really don't. Wait, for self care, one of the most managed things in life actually helps with your mental. Yes, it does. That's my little sis right there. Tuning in.
Shout out to
Thank you.
her.
All the way from Texas. She
And
tuned in.
let's go. So,
All
as we wrap up Wellness Women's Wednesday, I want to thank Tonia Maddox for her time. I know she will be back to drop some more gems on us, sooner than later. So, look out for her and everything that she has to offer, her experiences, and it's gonna be a good time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Big Exclusive
thank you
Podcast Network. Tap,
in.
like, and share. You won't feel mentally drained once the boundaries are set. Absolutely. Healthy
Boundaries.
boundaries are key.
Yeah, boundaries are important. Yeah. I forgot about that. Boundaries are important because a lot of people like to step over that line, which makes
Right.
you comfortable. And you not that mess with your mental too when people cross boundaries. But if you don't lay down the boundaries, they're gonna cross them. If you don't let
Mixed
people know,
messages.
they will. Oh yeah, see, this
So
is this
you
is we
love it?
have to talk about.
I love it. So Tania, before you leave us, can you give us um one more wellness tip before you go? Just one more that you want the ladies to resonate with, that you want us to take away from your segment.
Okay, so the one thing I want everybody to know and to really hear me is this is the year that you love on yourself. This year and every year after this. Pour into yourself and pour only into those who pour into you. Leave the people behind that's not there for you. Learn how to let people go. I know that it's going to be hard, but this is the season for a new season, a new life, and new people, new love, new money. Jesus, money. I'm going
Yes.
new
And
money.
that was intentional. New
Yes,
money.
yes, new money. New money. It's very important that we do that. And really, really, it got to start with you first. Because if you don't take care of you, then you're no good for nobody else.
Thank you so much for that, Tonia. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, say your goodbyes. Tonia, if you want
Bye.
to have any shout outs, please do that now.
Thank
Um,
you, everybody who turned in. I know Leah and my brothers, Sissy,
yeah.
Texas.
Yes.
Uh, who else was on here? I don't know. Everybody else who was on here that I can't see. I hope Maria was on here. She better have been on here. I'm telling you. So everybody here. Thank you so much, Tarika and Shannon, for
Oh,
having me. I really do appreciate you guys. This was so much fun.
oh, wonderful. And we will love to have you back.
Thank you
So much.
Bye.
See ya. Okay, everybody, that concludes our Women's Wellness Wednesday. Thank you again, Tonia Maddox, for your wonderful wellness tips, your great conversation, your laughs, and your infectious smile. Next week, again at 6 p.m. We'll see you then. Thank you.
It's them candles. I can smell the way they smell. Even from hell, it takes over me. It's them candles, candles. I wanna know if you smell it too. If you don't, you gotta go and get some. Mm-hmm. Hey, 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 it's your bestie, better than the restie. Wishing you and your business a happy birthday. I am so proud of you. God is going to do amazing things for you this year. So I want you to keep up the faith and keep it positive, boo. We are going to make it pop. Concrete Rose for life. I love you so much. Congratulations. It couldn't happen to nobody better than you, babe. I love you so very much.